Hey everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches and welcome to my channel. Today is November 2nd, 2021 and this is my FlossTube number 38. I want to thank everyone for stopping by. If you are new here, thank you so much for giving my channel a try. Consider subscribing. I hope you do. I would appreciate it. And for those of you that are returning, thank you so much for returning. And for my returning viewers, if you're not a subscriber, what's stopping you? This is a channel mostly about cross stitch. I've tried this intro several times and I have just been having issues trying to get my words out. So this is a channel mostly about cross stitch. Every now and then I'll throw out some quilting, but for the most part it's cross stitch, and today it's all cross stitch. No haul this week. I went shopping and they didn't have anything new out, so I guess they put out all the cross stitch stuff that was donated at my thrift store, so no more. But anyway, so I have a finish, several whips, and I will be sharing my plans for 2022. So stick around and see what I got for y'all. So my finish is Mighty Fortress. This is part of the Sunday Stitches by Heartstring Samplery. This is Mighty Fortress. This is done on a mystery printed even weave from the 90s. I thought it was 32 count, but it is more 28. And so this design is a little bit bigger than all the other Sunday Stitches, but it is what it is. So this is a Mighty Fortress. And I just like all of them. I love these. I love these. I think I have 6 done, which means I have 6 more to finish. So if you don't know, I'm trying to do one a month. Not doing very good at the one a month thing, but they're going along. So that is my only finish for the week. On to my whips. Christmas Garden. I am doing this with Kim the Content. Sorry about that, Kim. Kim the Contented Stitcher, and this stitcher formerly known as Kiosk Stitch. Trying to think of her new channel name. I'll link it below. eBay. YouTube's has been, she's not the first person I have found where YouTube has pretty much eliminated their channel. So I'm not sure what's going on, but the other people were able to get theirs back, and she just restarted hers. So I am doing this as a stitch along with them. I am not moving as fast as Kim. I'm not sure if I'm putting this or if I'm going to, I change my mind every time I pick it up and stitch it. Yes, I'm going to put our last name. No, I'm not going to do it. It's too much trouble. I don't know yet, but this is what I'm working on. And so I normally try to work on these on the weekend. Sometimes I'll pick it up on Friday and work on it some on Friday. And I tried to do that because I knew that Sunday was going to be a busy day for us. So this is what I've gotten done, and this is, I'm going to, oh well, there you go. So this is what I've gotten done. I got this big bouquet and I started the vase. I did not get to finish the vase. But this big bouquet, it's got a couple of little errors in it, but other than that, it's fine. It looks good. So this is what I've gotten done. This is a 28 count mushroom Lugana, and I do have to say that so far this is my favorite non-Aida fabric. I like the body that it has, and I don't know if that's Lugana or if that's the brand or what, but it is by Zweigart. And I'm using DMC flosses, which uses some blending, like the green, the red, and the off-white are all blended flosses. So that's my progress. I'm moving along. I will not be done by Christmas, but it's not a Christmas piece for me, so that doesn't matter. And the one thing I like about Kim's stitch alongs, there's no end. There's even no beginning. You just start when you can, you finish when you do, and you're stitching along with them. So my next piece is a commission piece that Stitchin Mommy charted for me. This is designed after a pew that my grandparents had at their church here in this area. It is the church that my parents were married in. I was baptized in, I believe, and that's where my grandparents attended. It is done on 25 count chocolate Lugana by WIPGO. And I think that's what, it's got the orange one. Is that WIPGO? I thought that was WIPGO. Anyway, whatever. It's the orange striped fabric. Okay, so I got a lot done so far. My grandparents' anniversary is November 15th. I was hoping to finish by then. I don't think that'll happen, but this is what I have done. I finished all of Thibodeau, and I started on Picard. For those of you that do not know, my grandfather, my mom was a Thibodeau. Her dad was a Thibodeau. Her mom was a Picard. They were married in 1938. And my grandfather was involved in one of his many businesses, and the one that is still around today was electrical, radio electronics. And so when this was done, I believe it was my dad said in the 60s, my grandfather died in 73. Yeah, 73. 72, I was 3. 72. So this was commissioned before that, but the business was mainly radio electronics at the time. So anyway, that is it right there. And I love it. I was really concerned about the colors that, you know, if you look at a few videos back, I showed the actual pew, what the actual pew looked like. And it is like a maple, like you think of that golden maple that was really popular in the 50s. And that's kind of the color, and the background of the wood of the pew is stained this dark brown. And so that's what it looks like. And it's going to be big. But this was the only fabric I could find, and that was the color I liked. So there it is. But I absolutely love it. I need to send an update to my aunt. My mom had 3 sisters. There were 4 girls and a boy. And my the 2 younger daughters are the only ones that are still alive. They are twins. And one of them is my godmother. So I keep in touch with her a lot. And then the last thing I did was I started my EM ABC style, the letter I. This is all I got done. I started it Monday, well, yesterday, because it was the first. I had a horrible headache yesterday. I think it had mainly to do with just, you know, the weather's changing. My sinuses were all, I was a mess. But anyway, so this is all I was able to get done. So it is I don't remember the stitch, and I didn't bring it with me, but there's an ice cream cone. So that's the vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate coloring of all the flosses. And I thought the blue would look good because it's kind of summery, and I think those colors just pop on it. So this is the first time in a while that I've not shown you a completed block. I am doing this as a stitch along, and it's the Erica Michaels. Since I didn't say, I'm just assuming all of you know what my hashtag is. It's the Erica Michaels alphabet blocks. There are 24, I believe, and they basically each teach you a different specialty stitch. Back when I used to stitch in the late 80s, early 90s, I stitched on linen mostly. And then I stopped stitching until about 2018. And so when I started stitching, I looked at linen and thought, there's no way my eyes can do this. So I picked up some pieces on Aida and started stitching on Aida. And I really wanted to, 1, get back on stitching on linen and even weaves. And 2, I wanted to learn specialty stitches. You know, when I stitched back in the 80s, I did hardanger. That was about the only specialty stitch I did. I just didn't, the pieces that I had just didn't call for them. And so I didn't do them. And so I really want to learn. I was watching Stitchin' Mommy and City Stitcher, and they were doing some pieces with specialty stitches, and I loved the way they looked. And so that's what I want to do. So I decided this would be a great way to learn. Shelly, Proverbs 31:22 is following along with me. It's not too late. If you want to do these, you can. You can either start with A or start with whatever letter we're doing. We would love to have you join us. And this is my progress. And so that's what I'm working on. There is a link. They're free patterns. So if you want to try it, try it. Go to Hobby Lobby and get you a piece of even weave and have at it. Mine are done on 28 count scraps that I got, that I found in my mom's things. So that's what I'm working on. So anyway, so that's all I stitched this week. I did not work on my mom's piece. October's over and I should have plugged through that this weekend to try to get as much of it done, but I'll work on it this week. And I'm also going to work on City of Romance, which if you do not watch Laura at Stitching by the Shore, you need to. She's the one that turned me on to Stitch Rovia's patterns. And she was doing one that I love the colors. And so I went looking on Readly to see if she had published any in newspapers. And I found one that I love. It's called City of Romance. If you want Readly, I have a link below. And you get a free month. I get a free month. If you want to just go to Etsy, she sells that pattern. It's called City of Love on her Etsy store. And that is Stitch Rovia. And I believe I have it linked below. I'm going to have to check before I publish that. But anyway, Laura, I have twisted her arm, apparently, virtually, and she's bought the pattern. So I am excited to see how she's going to do it. I am using the Anchor spools from Joann's, and I think she'll probably use DMC. And so it'll be interesting to see, you know, how hers turns out versus how mine turns out. But anyway, so I'll be working on that this week. So I'll be working on Mama's piece, which is the Whilst Iris Naps piece for breast cancer research. I'll be working on that. And then City of Romance. There's something else. Oh, I'll be starting a new project, but y'all see that next week. I think I talked about it last week. It's my nativity piece. So hopefully I get a good bit of that done. All right. So now that is it. That's all I've stitched. So that's all you're going to see. But now I'm going to talk about my plans for 2022. I finally got to where I feel like I can say that without stumbling over too many twos. So anyway, I mentioned, I think it was maybe 2 videos ago that I was thinking about doing WIPGO. So I went on their Facebook page. I downloaded their board, which I think technically they don't use the WIPGO and then 1 through 5. They just label their blocks 1 through 25. So, I mean, you could just make a chart. Some people do spreadsheets. I don't like spreadsheets. So I am going to do this. And what I am doing is I am going to pull out all those pieces like Pandemic, the Paula Vaughn piece that I started 30 years ago, Silent Night, which is a nativity piece that I started 30 years ago, and Feline Family. Y'all remember from the Riolas, if you've been with me, the Riolas stitch along that they were having, Stitching Stories with Riolas. And I followed that and I, excuse me, I posted every week like I was supposed to, and I got the gift for participating, but then I put my Feline Family aside and I haven't touched it since. And I think that ended in April. So anyway, so these are my plans. So what I'm going to do with my WIPGO board is I am going to put these items. I'm going to go through and I'm going to find the items that I I've put aside. So basically, when I got back into cross stitching, I was working on some little ornaments that my mom had started, and I was finishing those up. And then I had a couple of other pieces. Let me write that down. I had a couple of other pieces. Hold on. That I had kind of started and put aside. And then I started Pandemic during the pandemic. And that is what really threw me back into cross stitch, was Pandemic. And I had a sample box of flosses that my mom had bought me back in the 90s. And my goal was to stitch Pandemic using all of those little flosses that I had never used. And it's basically one of every color DMC. And it was like 3 or 4 yards of each. It was something they sold back in the magazines. And so I just dove into Pandemic. And then I started watching FlossTube. Dug myself a little deeper hole. And I started watching FlossTube and started discovering so many other things. And I was watching Romantic Tangle, and she loves Riola's kits. She loves kits. She does a lot of kits. And she was talking about the Riola's stitch along. And I was like, interesting. I have some Riola's kits that I bought on clearance at Hobby Lobby. So I decided to join it. And then I decided to do a FlossTube. And you know, it just went downhill from there. So I'm going to take my WIPGO board and I'm going to enter in each little square. I'm going to enter one of those items. I'm going to enter Pandemic, Feline Family, Silent Night, Paula Vaughn, and a piece that I had started that is a little Cajun scene. Can't tell I'm from Louisiana. Anyway, it's a little Cajun scene. And so I'm going to enter these on the board just randomly and make myself small goals. And the goals are pretty much going to be things like work a day on this project. They're not going to be big goals, but I want to touch them. I want to see if I fall in love with them again, or if I go, I really don't want to finish this. So that is my plans. They're not going to be things that I work on exclusively. It's going to be something that probably when the numbers are called, I just pick a day in the month where I say, I'm going to work on these numbers that were called. Like I said, it's going to be really, really simple goals, you know. I'm not going to finish a page of Pandemic because that's not going to happen. I have too many other things I want to work on. But I just want to make sure I touch them. I put my hands on them every month and see them and work on them and you know, decide if it's something I want to put back in rotation or not. So that's what I'm doing. So the next thing I'm doing for my plans is I'm going to organize my stuff. Y'all, I have project bags full of patterns and floss of things that I finished. Like I'm looking at Flea Market Flowers. All the floss is still in there. The Serendipity Sow, all the floss is still in the bag. So I need to empty some project bags so that I can, you know, put stuff in it that I need to do. And then, that's my main thing, is I need to organize my stuff. And then for new starts, I have 2 new starts that I want to do. The first one, if you've not been on Fat Quarter Shop, I'm gonna get my iPad. If you've not been on Fat Quarter Shop and you have not seen their new charity quilt along, now they have not released the pattern, and I'm hoping that she does it tomorrow on tomorrow's live feed. But they've released the quilt pattern, the quilt design. They've released the fabric that they're using and the flosses that they're using for the stitch along. So this is the quilt. Y'all, it's so pretty. So I cannot wait to see how this is translated into cross stitch. Like I said, they've released the floss packs. Well, they've released the DMC floss packs. They're waiting on the R-filled floss pack. They've shown what fabric they're using. They just have not released what the stitch along is going to be. So I can't wait that. So I am going to do that. I did the Serendipity. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. And so I want to do this one because it's really pretty. I think the colors are very pretty. And the next thing I'm going to learn is the next thing I'm going to do, not learn, listen. Anyway, I belong to a Facebook group called Please Take My Unfinished WIPs. It is a great group. Basically, if you have something that you've started and you're never going to finish, you can put it on there and basically you send it to them. You're not selling them, you're giving them away. And so somebody had put up the Jeanette Douglas Learning Stitches Sampler book. And I was like, oh, that looks like fun. This is when I was first thinking about learning new stitches. And so I was like, oh, that looks like fun. So I just wrote, me please, in the comments. That's all you have to do. You just have to write me please. And I won. But it wasn't just a book. It was a floss and bead pack. Now, these are expensive. So this is what I'm going to start. I have not decided if I am going to start before or after I finish my ABC blocks. Sassy Jack Stitchery has a free class that uses this book, and they do a band sampler, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to stick with this. It looks like a lot of fun. So that is going to be one of my starts for the year. And then it's really neat because she does, you know, oh, I'm going to show you. The pattern is actually in the back of the book for the, and then the rest is all how to do the stitches. Stitch diagrams, whatnot. So, and it came with these. And City Stitcher has a great video on how to separate a Jeanette Douglas thread pack if you need to know. So that is one of the things that I want to do this year. Two of the things that I want to do. I also, if you watched my last FlossTube, I showed my last two FlossTubes. I showed my haul from the Creative Reuse store. And in it there was a, I'm sorry, it was a lavender and lace, I believe. Blue Moon, Angel, Blue Moon, that somebody had started. And I think I'm going to try to finish that. I think I want to, I've been wanting to incorporate beading into my stitches. And I spent about 2 hours going down the chatelaine rabbit hole. There is... You know, you think, oh, these are so pretty, I want to do this. And you see how big it is. And you see how much the thread and bead pack costs. And you go, no. For me, at least, I just, no. But there is one that I want to do. And that is the New Orleans Tree of Hope. And I think it's called a Small Cotton 5 now. But it was done for a fundraiser for the Katrina victims. So I think I want to do that one. It uses just DMC and it uses Mill Hill beads, which I have a huge assortment of them from when my mom and I had our business. So I think I'm going to do that. So that is my, I know even though the Jeanette Douglas thing does have some beading in it, it even, you see, it came with the beads and the charms and everything. But I think I'm going to try a chatelaine maybe this year. Not this year, 2022. And, you know, I'm going to make this a year of stretching myself. I'm going to make it a year of stitching several heritage pieces that I want to do, but I want to continue stretching myself and learning new things. So, you know, that's it. So that's what I want to do. Like I said, if you have any ideas, I really like chatelaine. So if you know of anything that's similar to chatelaine, but not so costly, I don't need to put Swarovski crystals in my stitching. In fact, I was considering seeing if there's a group out there, chatelaine on the cheap. I do know some people use DMC and, you know, but, ooh, no. Anyway, so that's it. That's my plans. I'm rambling now. And I don't even know if I've made sense to you guys at all. I don't feel like I have. I feel like I've just been rambling for the past 23 minutes. But that is it. My husband was off yesterday, so I didn't do a lot of stitching. They had a teacher in service and he was not feeling well, so he just stayed home. They are now maskless. So he is coming home with no headaches from teaching. So, I mean, you know, there are still students who wear masks and there's still teachers who wear masks, which is good. You know, you can choose whether or not you want to wear them. So anyway, he had off yesterday, and so we went shopping for plants for fall, and our daughter came by for a little while to pick up her laundry. And so that's pretty much what we did. We didn't do a whole lot. You know, our youngest son, our middle child, his college has about 11 students, and he asked if I could cook jambalaya for 11 young adults. So I did. I cooked a big old pot of jambalaya for them Friday, and they came over and they played Uno. Apparently it's some kind of Uno where you can't say anything, and I don't know, it's extreme Uno. And they played that for about an hour and a half, and we got to get to know these kids really good. So for those of you that don't know, he is at a basically a school at our church for those that want to go into the ministry for young people. And so they have apartments they live in on campus, and they work at the church, and they volunteer, and they do stuff like that, and they're trained in ministry. So anyway, so they all came over, good kids. We enjoyed having them. We always enjoy having them. They bring a little bit of life into the household. So, but that's what we did. And so I didn't get a lot of stitching done Friday night because I was cooking a big pot of food. And so, you know, hopefully this weekend we can kind of chill and relax, and I can get some stitching done. So anyway, that is it. I'm still rambling. I feel like I haven't talked to anybody in a couple of days, even though my husband was home yesterday. So y'all have a good day, and I hope you have a good week. Hope you get a lot of stitching done, and let me know your plans for the new year. I know I'm kind of talking about them and asking everybody what their plans are, and I'm still finalizing everything, trying to make a list, trying to keep track of what I want to do, you know, what I really want to get done, and things that I want to learn. So anyway, that's all. I'm going to stop rambling. Y'all have probably already paused the video and gone to somebody else by now. Anyway, y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all later. God bless.